Yeah. Welcome to He Said, She Said podcast with Adam Lowry. And
Patricia May.
oh, I love it. The only risk is that you'll go insane.
I do love that song.
Yeah, I do. I love that song, man. That reminds me of Arizona so quick every time I hear it.
Yeah. I liked it also when you had it on your intro.
Oh, yeah, we did it for the TCR intro once. That was for the, if you couldn't hear it on the podcast in the background, we had the song Go Insane by Flume. The remix there. I love that song. It's, yeah.
It's really powerful, a little bit spiritual, but at the same time, like really like, let's do this.
Yeah. It's a hype up song too, almost in a way, right?
I don't go into meditation. Let's just say that.
Well, the holidays have almost been completed. Where my favorite holiday out of all of them, really, New Year's Eve is not far away, and the party at the Lowry May Casa is going to be serious. But, well, how was it? How was the Christmas in Florida?
You know, it didn't even matter because my son was here. He got to fly up from Arizona. So no matter what happened, it was just such a treat for me. I loved it. It's been great. But of course, I was able to be introduced to new families and things like that. That was a really unique change for me from what I was used to for the last probably 13, 14 years.
So the first Florida Christmas has been a success.
Yeah, I'd say so, definitely.
I thought so myself. This is one of the first Christmases for myself that I wasn't perhaps a little kid being toted around in the backseat, but where I was doing all the driving all over the freaking state of Florida.
Yes, you were a really good driver. I had it easy.
I felt like I was just everyone's chauffeur this Christmas weekend, but I love it. I love that I know I'm keeping you and Dylan safe, and Morgan was with us when we went down to see my mom in Sarasota. So Merry Christmas, Mom. Your Christmas Eve thing was gorgeous. The dinner was amazing. I loved it. Thank you, Jack, for having us in and seeing my mom. Man, it was a beautiful Christmas Eve there.
Yeah, it was kind of like surreal for me because I don't ever get to, for the longest time, I wasn't able to be in like the family atmosphere when it was actually people getting along or kind of on the same plane. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know. It felt like family. It was a fun feeling.
Yeah, it was good. And then to leave Sarasota, well, first it started on the 19th when my brother, his wife Noelle, and my two beautiful nieces, Scarlett and Seneca, all arrived here Tuesday. They stayed with us Tuesday, I think Wednesday, maybe even Thursday. Then they went to Sarasota. Then Sunday, we're in Sarasota. Then they head out down to Fort Lauderdale to go see my father. And then so did we. And as we came back to Orlando first, and you know, for me, that's my first Christmas really with my dad.
Really?
In a very long time.
That's crazy.
Excuse me as I get a little choked up there for a moment. But it's, yeah.
It was beautiful when we went there and I was actually able to see all three Lowry men together. The dynamics of it, the ins and outs of jokes and things like people getting them, people not getting them, stuff like that. And your brother was actually really nice. He got into the hot tub with Dylan. It was fun to watch. Yeah, it's fun to see fun, you know.
It's been a while since the three Lowrys have been together on this side, since my father, my brother, and me were all in the same room. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation, and just the vibe was good. The energy was okay. And I enjoyed that part. And that's how we wrapped up Christmas Day down in Fort Lauderdale, Deerfield Beach, and then drove home last night and decided not to stay in Fort Lauderdale. And I was pushing it, but you stayed awake. You made it. You almost made it.
Yeah, almost made it. You know what?
You're a great co-pilot. You really do. You fight to stay awake with me and hang out. I love it, and I appreciate that.
I do feel bad. Well, plus I don't need you to see me with my mouth open or snoring or something gross. You know that beautiful face you make when you're asleep and you don't realize, and you're just like a zombie looking gross.
That's when I always take pictures of you.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's kind of true, though. I'm like, babe, why don't you show me some good ones?
Well, I see the good picture all day, so I take the funny pictures
the candid ones,
when the mouth's out. You're like, I'm like, yes, I gotta have that one.
I don't do that. I'm always just on point.
You're right. You sleep it's like Sleeping Beauty, really.
I'm like in that movie Bridesmaids, where she lays there and goes,
yeah,
wakes you up after I've already actually showered and put some makeup on.
I got nothing. I haven't seen.
It's a funny scene.
Yeah, well, see, this time we didn't watch the chick flick you usually make me watch before we do it. He said, she
Right.
said live. So I start talking all pop culture and stuff, and down, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm
That's
back.
all right. Then some of the chicks can get it as well.
Oh man, there's there's a few guys out there like, I love that movie.
Yeah, it was actually, I thought
It's
it was
not
pretty
bad.
good.
It's not. So at least you didn't make me watch Bridesmaids or something before we did the show. But honestly, I don't think we had to watch any movie before we did this show, because the holidays themselves are a movie. I mean, if you're out at the store, if you're walking, even if you just stop in the hustle bustle for a minute and just look at people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you don't need a movie or inspiration, I think, if you're going to talk about the holidays, especially coming just off of it.
I got definitely a confirmation that the idea that you and I have to carry on with what I was doing before is right on. Just the stress in people's lives. What did we saw something like Stressmas or
Yeah, somebody mentioned it, call it. Oh, what was it?
Stressmas is, I think I made that up just now.
No, it was Stressmas. No, we were watching the old. We're rewatching The Sopranos, and
right.
the therapist says that to Tony. Stressmas says that's what they call it.
Tony, are you really happy with this holiday?
That's not bad. Hey, look, I gotta do what I got. Let's just say I had a friend. Okay.
Yeah, I could have put some more time into that other one. I just didn't feel like clogging my nose with her. Tony Soprano.
But it is, right? You see it. Now, some people don't, right? We're gonna look, we speak in generalizations many times on the He Said, She Said show. So just forgive us now, disclaimer here. If it's not you, we get it. But what I see, and I do in a majority, and I will speak generally in a majority, is the stress overtake people, and what to get, what to buy, where to go, even what to wear, where to drive, what to cook, how many people are coming, are they coming, could you get this in time, did the gift arrive on time, did the paycheck go in the bank account before the time, right? Could you push back these bills because we got to cover this? It becomes a clusterfuck.
You know, I agree with you on all those, but I would say if I could throw in the typical she said possibly, which is, you know what, at least it'll make my son come and see me that hasn't seen me for the last 11 months. Or maybe they can all try this meal that so-and-so just now learned how to cook, and she can debut it or he can debut it. There's a lot of other positive things, and I think those are the ones that are looked past, which is the company as opposed to the actual reason for it. Like Christmas to me is a feeling.
Why can't we do that? Not the stress part of the gift part, right? Well, I love what you did with your family years ago. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, for me, I did a podcast a long time ago about, it was when Hurricane Matthew came over and I was live. And it was about holding on to the feeling, holding on to that community, that neighborly love, handy help, working to get, handing on to that. And how could we hang on to that? How do we hang on? And so when I look at Christmas, right, after all the hustle and bustle, if you really time it, by the time the gifts are open, the dinner's over, it's this short period of time with, I'd say 80% more being the stress leading up to this little bit of moment, right?
Yeah.
And, how, again, like Hurricane Matthew or Irma or anything else that has happened, the fires out west, what, anything, Christmas, how do we, continue that? Why do we need a designated time as opposed to, seeing your family more often if it means that much, right? If it really means that much, everybody's out there, Christmas, it's time for family, and I have to be, if it means that much, really, if you got to get the perfect gift, you got to cook the perfect meal, you got to wear the perfect outfit. If this is what it means, if that is it, if that's, why is it so difficult all year? Why is it so difficult next week or the following week or the following? If it really means that much, how so many people talk, you catch them in Christmas time. It's, hey, I'm with my family, I'm not working, right? Or, hey, watch out, I'm with my family here. Excuse me, right? You're driving to protect your family. You're buying to get the, if that's so, right? And now some, it happens all year, right? But I just mean that spirit, if you will, of Christmas. That, if it does, we don't, we forget that as 6 months go by. Myself, I'm guilty as fuck with friends that I reach out to, right, or say hello to, or remember to, and fuck the dreaded moment where you have to sit there for 2 hours and text every motherfucker Merry Christmas because you don't want them to be like, damn, dude, you didn't even text me.
Yeah, I didn't get a text. Thanks. No, I know, right? And then you feel so impersonal. just sending a group text or just putting it on Facebook or
Because you
wherever.
know they're sending the individuals, and then
Yeah.
you get a group. You're like, lazy fuck. I'm sitting here doing individual, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you want to send back that meme to them going, oh, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. I could have just done what you did. Half-assed it.
Copy the meme and just forward that, right? I've been guilty before where somebody sent it to me and I just copied the whole thing that they sent me and pasted it to somebody else and sent that shit.
Oh, I can't say I've done that. I've done the photo or whatever, the meme, but never the verbiage. I don't think anybody ever fit in the same category.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
I may add like brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'll
Yeah.
add that to Merry, or I've done that before and sent Merry Christmas, brother, and sent it like a cousin, friend, and a female, or
Oh.
and you're like, oh, they knew I copy and pasted.
Yeah, you're like, whoops, wrong person. This one was yours.
It's like you can't like re-gift, right? So if you copy and paste text, it's like re-gifting.
Have you ever caught someone doing that to you?
Could you re-gift?
Hey, that's a good one.
Where somebody sends you the Merry Christmas gift and then you just
Yes.
re-gift it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's bullshit.
But I think we said it wrong. Didn't Morgan tell us the other day?
Yeah. How are you supposed to say it now?
I don't know.
GIF?
Yes,
GIF.
yes.
Yeah, because it's like in a GIF, right?
Yeah,
Makes
so
way more sense.
me GIF it, re-GIF it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any
Yeah.
more sense.
No, it doesn't sound as good.
Damn it.
Good thought though.
Good idea.
Yeah, we just really looked like parents.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's a fucking gift to me. I don't give a damn.
Right? I'm not changing.
Yeah, you can't make it's 3 letters. I'll pronounce it how I want to.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll age myself. Yeah.
I just recently learned how to do that through the texting. I've always just put my own pictures and said funny stuff. And facial expressions, things like that. I just made them up and just now learned how to do the otherwise. My children taught me that.
Yeah. Squirrel. we had squirreled off.
That's where you go.
Yeah. I've opened so many topics to my little rampage or my little rant.
That was a rampage.
Rampage.
It was a hungry one.
Yeah. Well, I think I am hungry.
Yeah.
Leftovers.
Yes.
Yes,
You guys can have at it.
That's after this. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't eat leftovers pre-show.
No, you did not.
But so, I mean, let's talk real then about, the honesty, right? We know what family means, right? To people, right?
Sure.
Let's assume it does really mean that. Why don't we hold on to it? What's wrong with February, March, right? Why don't some of us hold on to it and stay that connected if it means so much? Why do we get lost?
I think that's just in general. Everybody does that. It's just like that feeling that you could even something more extreme, let it go away, which is like when 9/11 happened. That
Yeah.
didn't last very long either. So it's not like something detrimental has to happen because even that, it goes away.
Right.
So I don't think we really, I can't say we don't have control over it, but when you really think about it, when other people have to perform as well, participate, I should say,
Mm.
it's not a sure thing. You can't guarantee that it's going to stay forever. Maybe it's just not as important to somebody else as it is to you.
Yeah. Well, I guess and for some, then the boundary or the marker, I should say, the marker of Christmas is here. Then maybe they need the reminder, right? They need that. Hey, stop for a fucking minute,
Mhm.
But then we replace it with stop doing that for a minute and now do a bunch of this shit and forget about what you're really doing it for.
Right. Well, yeah, right. That's true. Not many people anymore, it seems like at all, really discuss the meaning of it in their own homes. Maybe they go visit a church
Yeah,
for the third time that year.
Yeah. Easter. I don't know. I don't do that, but I do kind of go, okay, well, you do your thing. I mean, I won't judge you for whatever fits for you. Even once, maybe too much for myself. But,
Well, you still learn about that person like we went with your memo.
oh yeah. And I'll go with Memo anywhere.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I may even watch a musical with Memo. That's the worst thing I do. But I don't. Let's take a positive, right? You're really good at the silver lining, right? I mean, do you think really the majority have kind of lost that meaning of it, the idea? I mean, I personally think so. And the fact that we have to have a reminder for meaning anyway is what the fuck? I mean, and it's a corporate agenda. Look, I don't want to walk down the conspiratorial theories of the Christmas design right? Just the idea of it and how we are operating in it anyway.
I believe that a large majority of people crave that. That's why so many things are throwback. You don't ever hear throwback in a negative context. I mean,
Yeah.
So like our little gift thing, we did for the kids to play with, we just bought a few throwback gifts just for everybody to play with, not for gifts for someone specifically, but like a conversation thing. And the reason we do that is because those are the stereotype of when it was better.
Mm. Yeah, Atari, Simon,
Yeah.
yeah, Etch a Sketch,
Yeah.
Frogger.
But
Yeah,
I mean, even in what you were referencing, the
yeah.
spirit of things, I think people, even though they don't practice it, secretly kind of crave it.
I think that's a good point. That inside they really do want the connection. And I think sometimes an issue though with the boundaries like Christmas is it sets people up for this supposed to be, right? So
Hmm.
then when life happens sometimes you're arguing with, your wife, your daughter, whatever it is. You're arguing with your parents, your brother doesn't get along with you. Whatever these things are, right? The things we talk about at Thanksgiving table, right?
Yeah.
Christmas table that perhaps we really do crave that connection anyway, and that we want to. But when you place a border and then life happens, and then that storybook Christmas, the Christmas story doesn't happen for that person or that family or that kid, there's this resentment, this I'm not connected, I don't belong to the group, I can't buy the present, right? I can't afford this, I'm not out, I don't, I'm speaking,
Yeah.
so I can't get in the Black Friday lines or whatever, not that I suggest you do, but the idea, right? You can't participate. And
Yeah.
when things, or maybe a divorce happens, right? Somebody passes, when these holidays happen, and be that Christmas or anywhere else, and then these things almost set this reminder boundary of what it was. Then you get the bah humbugs, right? The fuck Christmases, people, right? You get that because of that experience.
Yeah. I think it's almost like, to me, comparable to how people become addicted to Facebook. They become addicted to that feeling, and then when they don't get it, it's they're depressed on their own, not to have family, not, you know what I mean, like the ones that
Right.
don't have to think about it until they're asked to work that shift because they don't have family at home.
Right.
Can you work Christmas? I know you don't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like, for the longest time, when I first got divorced, I was that girl that was sitting in the movie theater the whole day long. But
Avoiding it.
I wasn't, no, I was
Or just
enjoying
being
it.
busy, being,
Yeah.
doing you.
Because I didn't have to go to other family things. I just said, you guys go, this is your time with your dad. And I would go to the movies all day long. That's me.
Yeah, that's you vibrating there. So, well, you always vibrating to me. You always got vibes coming from you. I was just like, that's your fault.
You're like,
Well, I think we do want the connection, right? I mean, we can go as far as linking mental health and everything else to a lack of connection, a lack of social connection, the boundaries supposed to, And so for me, it's so maybe it's the double-edged sword, right? Forget all the conspirator creation of economy pushing, make you spend money, linked to religion, all this other stuff. I'm not walking down those roads of its real meaning, because if you tell me it's about Jesus, then somebody's going to tell you Jesus was born in a different day, then somebody's going to tell you Horus was like Jesus. And then the 3 stars are really representing something, and it really doesn't mean. So I don't want to walk down all these things that I do know.
That I've learned more, and I sometimes wish I could unlearn.
Yes, me too. There's times where our ignorance, I do believe, is bliss.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess bliss is defined. That's a loose.
There's so many squirrels there.
Yeah, it's a loose definition. But I do believe, to go back, circling back, generally, whatever the meaning was supposed to be, like you said, is to the individual, I think. But I
That's
think,
been clouded.
whether that original meaning is even real or not, right?
Mhm.
If anything, the time has been tainted by the stuff, the activity, the supposed to be, right? The just perfect dinner, the just perfect present, the deal that you get, right? It has been. And I will say that. I mean, for some in their hearts and their houses and their homes and their spirit, I'm not speaking to that. That's your personal, that's the individual.
Yeah.
But in my personal, even before it gets to your home, where you say it may be this still or that still, it still has to be filtered through the atmosphere of capitalism and materialism that has now engulfed this entire time. Hell, it's fucking Halloween, and I'm looking at Christmas shit on shelves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's insane.
The sales to get the best gift for whoever.
Yeah. And so I do that. I do think that, right? And perhaps that's we start to now associate the stressful times, right? The stressmas idea with it because of that atmosphere, right? Because of the atmosphere we know that surrounds it, all the people coming to stay with you. You got to book flights, you got to pack everybody. You're moving the dogs, you did the thing, right? It's just, it's like it can be, right? It's
I feel like anything that's labeled supposed to or have to isn't very fun.
fucking yeah. And
Yeah.
that's a general speak. I'm sure there's some that have to that are great, right?
Or like, oh, you have to.
Right.
But I'm saying you have to. That's when, you just kind of go, I don't want to anymore. When even you yourself, when you set out those expectations of I have to do this on this day, something that was going to be fun for you, you go, great, now I have to do that. And it was fun before, but the second you threw the have to in there, just like the holidays, it's no longer fun where you go, oh, okay. You get that time to make the donuts feeling.
That's a good point. The have to, yeah, because well, you hear people say it, right? It's like, well, you have to go see the in-laws, right?
Yeah.
You have to go see the
Go
grandparents.
do your time.
Oh, that's the line, right? Yeah, we got to go do our time.
Yeah.
Go put in time, right? It's
Yeah.
for reference in prison to
Or
see
you
in family.
hear, I just have to go make a cameo real quick and then I'm back to where I enjoy life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's times it does that, right? And that's why I loved. I still want to circle back, right? We've come back and hit one point,
Sure.
but the further back point is how do we hold on to that?
Yeah.
Which this may link because when you told me what you did with your kids for Christmas, I thought, yeah, man, that's a great idea. But then what I try to do, right, is then become the kid. When my daughter was in middle school and they were talking about uniforms. I was like, fuck yeah, that's a great idea. You don't have to think about shit. You can just go. And obviously she was like, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think about what to wear. She was cool with it, right? But most of the kids were like, I remember when I was in school, like, oh hell no, it's my individualism, right? It was all this, you're screaming that. And
I was screaming, no way am I putting those khaki pants on. Good.
Right. And I've scrolled off now.
It was my fault.
No, trust me, it's my mind and the caffeine. Oh yeah, you don't want it to happen, right? And then I try to put myself in the kid situation when hell no, they tried uniforms at West Orange High and no, that didn't float well at all. And it didn't go. They try to bring it up, but by the time she was in middle school, it'd come back up and they implemented it. And I thought about the kids and I was that's a great idea, right? It makes logical sense. It doesn't know school shopping, it's less materialistic, right? And I'm like, yeah, but they all look alike. It's creepy. And I'm like, now you're making them all wear the same shit. You're like putting them in suits already, man. You're already brainwashing the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? But when the kid figures that, it's that feeling, right? For what you did by transforming what it meant or what it was supposed to be, almost like you eliminated the atmosphere, which was cool.
Yeah, I don't regret it I've probably mentioned it a couple times on different shows, but basically when I got a divorce, I didn't want to have to experience the, well, your dad has you from this time to this time and blah, 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 and let me drop you guys off here. And my kids were little too. And so I didn't.
Did you buy the kids when I get the kids?
Can you make sure you don't give him this gift? Because I already got that.
And let's face it, a lot of kids do know how to play that too.
Oh, yeah.
Kids know how to play that. Hey, I'm divorced. That's 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays, 2 presents. I'm telling you, they know how to play that shit.
Yep. And even on the guilty side of, well, I think mom's going to get me this. So what are you going to get me?
Yeah, right. Yeah. The comparison. Yeah, they're spending this much. So your turn.
Right. So for the first couple of years after the divorce, I just said, I would like to just give you guys memories, fun memories as opposed to gifts. Because you're not going to go, ooh, remember that sweet ass Xbox mom bought us at this year, Instead, now they say, remember when that girl threw up on blah, 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 or when so-and-so fell, just cool, funny stories that you reminisce about. I don't know. I think it was actually pretty funny when she threw up, because she was afraid on a ride. So.
Well, explain what you did.
Yeah. So I would take them up north to the snow and have them put their phones away, things like that. We would spend the weekend together. No gifts, nothing like that, but we would just spend quality time together, and they were allowed to bring their friends if they wanted to. I would encourage it sometimes, especially if they're friends that are also going kind of through the same stuff, and just didn't give gifts anymore. And so we've done that every year since. The first couple of years they hated me, but now they really look forward to it. And I think they're probably going to carry certain things on like that with their own little families since they've started since my kids are adults.
Yeah, I like that idea that you create an experience with them, eliminate the best you can. Because let's not get it twisted. Renting a fucking cabin up in a place or Flagstaff or where you'd stay or what we're doing here in a week or so, this shit ain't cheap either. And I've done podcasts like crazy saying, look, they've sold you the experience, but trust me, the experience typically costs money if they're selling it to you.
Yeah.
So it still costs money, but I think what it initially begins to do is lift the veil of the materialism, where I'd rather, if I got to choose one, lesser of two evils, if I got to choose the materialism of the stuff or the experience, yeah, I would hope more people would flock to the experience and spend the money on that.
Yeah.
And so that's, you kind of eliminate that atmosphere of the gift exchange or the purchase or even the guilty feeling that people have when they can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The person that's got to sit there at the fucking Christmas thing, they're the guest or the family or the mom, the single dad, right? Or the young 21-year-old, right? They're sitting there and you're watching these $400 gifts exchange type shit, and
Yeah.
imagine that. And you got to sit there and be like, man.
Or what if you had new families? Obviously, this is a whole different situation, nothing to do with anyone I know or anything, but what if you each had separate families and the new spouse is just rolling in it?
Yeah.
And how do you think that makes them feel when they're buying them everything they want because they want to buy that affection? And they're looking at you like, what'd you get me?
Yeah. And the teenagers, look, they don't mean to, they're just teens. For all you parents out there, man, the last thing I do hate seeing, is when it becomes this scolding thing, when Christmases are used as direct lessons, and instead of, you can bring solutions instead of direct lectures, and yours is like a solution. Hey, I
Mhm.
believe here, and rather than preach to them, it's not materialism.
Yeah.
And the meanwhile, the 16-year-old's like, can I have that beach? Or whatever, the new Jordans, right?
Yeah.
So they're still there anyway. So you kind of said, hey, here's a solution and a change rather than teaching lectures on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day about stuff and poor people and other stuff and
Yeah.
working hard for the money, right? Allowing the children, at least some kids at the time, get to experience what that is just to be a fucking kid.
Well, too, I also didn't want to completely undermine the other parent, because that's what they're choosing to do. Because you don't want to say my way is the right way. It's just
Sure.
my way.
Yeah.
So I didn't go into with them the lessons it was going to teach them.
Yeah.
I did it more like, I have this really cool idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the pitch, right? And the turn, and you create the experience, and, you in a way, by doing something like that or something different, like I said before, eliminate the capitalistic, approach, the guilt feeling, what you can or can't do, the comparisons. I mean, there's a lot there, by making simple solutions and changes, rather than, perpetuate. And look, I'll be honest. I posted a video on Cognitive Rampage Facebook a while ago about Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining how they don't encourage Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy, and he goes on to explain it very shortly that the money would show up and the child would ask, and they would like, I don't know. So they would make them test it. And so the group of his girl and girlfriends, their daughter's friends, would say, hey, let's do an experiment. Some next person loses a tooth, right? Don't tell anybody, put it under your pillow. So they're doing experiments, and they figure out, hey, we think you guys are the Tooth Fairy. Now, for me, that lesson means way more than some magic flying fucker putting money under a table, right?
Right.
So, and I thought about that, right, with Christmas. And then I started, here's your initial response as a parent. It's like, oh, no, don't take that from them. I had that, and that's their tradition, right? Because let's face it, Christmas is a lot of tradition and passed down, and we want to give that to them, right? But to me, that links to my old rampages when I used to say, look, if you're trying to make your kid better than you, like you say, but you raise them just like you were, and you expect different results, that makes you fucking insane. So is it because what you do by taking him there, Santa ain't dropping shit off. You know what I mean? Santa damn sure ain't picking you up.
Setting them up for disappointment.
Right. And so there's an explanation there. But if the kid is from the beginning, the explanation of this fantasy of be good all day, it's like a form of control religion almost. You're telling a 3-year-old you get stuff at the end of the year if you're good. It's creepy.
Yeah.
And my mom used to tell the story that when I first learned about the Easter Bunny, I was quite disturbed. And I had a question, and my serious question was, exactly how big is this Easter Bunny.
You're like,
Yeah.
I remember skinning rabbits. Is this going to be similar?
Yeah. Well, I would set traps and shit.
Yeah.
I was putting up, tying pots and pans and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a couple of times trying to catch Santa too. And I was trying to catch him, and one time I caught him when I was on the eye behind the corner of the couch. Right. So by creating new experiences, by creating new behavior experiences when this happens, you know, in your home, in the proximity, and even the friend that you allow your son or daughter to bring at the time, that
Yeah.
stretches and they get older and that change, right? I mean, eventually the bubble bursts. Eventually you do stop doing so many Christmases, like you said, the exchanges, whose house, what'd you get, where are we going? You know?
This being our first Christmas, it really was a relief for me not to go, what do I get, Adam? You know what I mean? Especially if we're kind of next to each other a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so when we came up with this idea, it was instant relief and excitement.
It is, once you can get by the initial concrete belief. This is the first year I've never done a Christmas tree. I didn't put up a fucking light. I didn't put up a tree there and a candy cane in my motherfucking house. I hate candy cane. And they're gross. And so it was difficult.
They're good for heartburn.
Yeah, so many years of just doing the behavior,
Mhm.
right? That you do the behavior, run the maze,
Yeah.
get the cheese, run the maze. And that I'm going here and I was like you said, there was the first year I was like, I have to. And I was like, why the fuck? No, I don't. Because in my book, I'm like, I said have
Yeah.
to. That's irrational.
Mhm.
And we sat there and kind of walked through the guilty feeling. And what if I don't? I'm not participating. I don't do the thing. And I'm like, why don't we just pay? Let's go somewhere, you and I, and go do something rather
Yeah.
than exchange gifts, right? You're like, hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, that sparked an idea from what you were doing already with your kids. And I could, it's hard. Yeah, I promise y'all motherfuckers, if you're listening, it's hard to get by that initial, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You
Or they're going to say they're okay with that. And then 3 months later, she's going to cry and go, you didn't give me anything for Christmas, you fucking asshole. You don't even love
Yes.
me.
Fucking killer point. That's
On-
you know they will too.
I'm going to tell you on my birthday,
Yeah.
I will say that, but nothing else. No other holiday, nothing.
Okay, duly noted.
That's when you're supposed to feel like you did. You did
No,
awesome.
what
You
you
took me
did
to the
is-
Cavazoo.
Oh, that was fun. But
Yeah.
you just communicated. See, when you do that, people, that's direct communication. When it's my birthday, don't fuck around. Just,
Yeah.
right? I draw the line here, right? So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, teaching me how to treat her. Write that shit down. You know, what'd you say just before that though? It was funny.
Oh, that's probably everything I say.
It is.
Not really. Like that wasn't. I don't remember.
No, we were talking about Lake Havasu, but that was your
For
birthday
the birthday
experience.
and and gifts and the pressure that it took off of us with your idea actually of where you wanted to.
But I copped that from what you were doing with your kids already.
Yeah, I'm so excited though. It was way more than I was expecting.
Yeah, but it makes it fun. I'm looking forward to the experience next weekend when you're going to
Yeah.
go on your first hunt.
That I'm going to do. It's so weird to even say it out loud because
Isn't
I
it?
don't, I've
Yeah.
been on a turkey hunt before, but I've never been on something that can look at me and really make me feel like, all right, this is between you and I. But
Yeah.
it'll be a cool experience to see them, pack it all up for me so I can go home and say, look what I put in the freezer.
That's it. That's it. At the Lowry house, it'll be the woman that filled the freezer. I love it.
I'm really excited, but scared also. I'm going, I hope this doesn't become something on the news.
Well, look, I heard a long time ago that the best first date in comparison to, say, dinner and a movie is going to ride a roller coaster, because in our physiology, when our adrenaline pumps and peaks like that and you're with someone, I've also done a podcast that we actually connect in fear, and we
Mhm.
call it love.
Yeah.
And when we share fears, we say, oh, you're scared of that too. Me too. I'm scared of that too. Oh, I think I love you. Right? We connect in those fears. And so to then go on an adventurous first date, like a roller coaster, not your typical sounding romantic bullshit that's
Yeah,
cliche
no.
and right, new editions plan, you know what I mean? And no,
Yeah.
you don't want that's later. But that first day, right? The roller coaster, something like that, where the heart rate is pumping, you can connect with somebody like that because there's a fear. Do you, and you can make sure, and you can see if there really is a connection. Because do you feel safe when you're doing
that's
it?
the biggest thing. Yeah. If
Right.
I feel like I need to look around, make sure my man's okay. Actually broke up with some guy because he ordered bubblegum ice cream and didn't think it was funny. I was teasing him and he's just got crazy. And I was like, there's no sense of humor here. I got to go.
Are you serious?
Yeah. it was that detrimental to me to recognize you can't laugh at something that small. We have no connection.
Well, I get that for the way that we met, and we'll tell that story another time on this podcast.
Yeah.
But maybe for those listening that stick with us on He Said, She Said, you'll hear the story of how we met, and you'll connect why I think that's funny as shit. But yeah, the experience, turning away from the idea of the must buy, must go. And no, that's right. I was talking about that initial feeling, trying to get over. I remember sitting on back there on the back porch, and
Like you felt guilty.
yeah, you feel this guilt feeling of like, I'm just being lazy, right? I'm not, right? You have the feeling of I can't do that. It's once you can get through that, and you can get through, well, why do I feel that way? Why? Who told me that this is that? Once you get through that, man, that's when you mentioned that weight fell off.
You know what though?
And by the way, it's psychotic to take a perfectly good tree and cut it down and put it inside your house, and take perfectly good lights and put them outside on your house. That's something a person mentally ill typically would do, but it's all okay. Because remember, a delusion is only a delusion if the majority doesn't see it.
That voice. So you know how you were saying that about the guilty feeling or whatever. I experienced.
How was that for you? Like, because did you do the Christmas tree and stuff still, even though you would go like to a cabin or do the experience too?
We would sometimes take a little mini tree and put it up in the hotel room.
Like a Charlie Brown tree?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And we would put like when I ended up having a grandchild and stuff, then we brought the little mini one and let just the grandbabies have a gift. Just one time though, because they're little.
See? One time though, just see, it's still there, right? That's that concrete. How was it kind of
well,
for
I
you?
meant one time because they're little. So I've only had 1 year of Christmas. Not just one time. That's what I mean by it's their choice.
Did you hear them out there go, oh, just one Christmas for the
poor things.
Right. But see, that's what I talk about, those concrete beliefs. If your first response to whatever we're saying here about forget the Christmas tree, forget the presents, go have an experience instead and pass down that. If your first response to that is, oh, you can't do that. No. If this is your response to that because of tradition in the past, then I would urge you, that's where you start to question, why do I feel that? And man, it was like kind of when I became a sort of minimalist and all those old chunky stuff that I would carry around with me every time I went. It's eliminating a little bit of that.
I think you probably experienced that a little bit when you had to sit back there and go, I have to throw that away.
Yeah, it's like that. So when it was like throwing away the idea of I have to put up lights, I have to continue to create an experience. Why? I don't know, because my dad did, their dad did, and we're supposed to do that. They tell us we do it. If I don't do it, we're weird. The neighbors do it, they'll think my kid's weird, right? It's like not letting my kid have an iPhone or watch TV, they'll be weird, right? So it's the same idea. If I just do what the monkeys around me do and I continue to perpetuate that bullshit.
You know what would be fun is if Christmas time, we put up all of our Halloween decorations. Because think about it. Everything goes on clearance the day after. So if you're really freaking smart, you go buy all your crap and then you put that up on the next holiday. And you've got like this baller house and you bought it 25%.
That's what you do if you got the money for fashion. If you're into that, right? You buy your winter clothes in the summer, your summer in the winter, right? If you want the new fashions. Right. So I love that. We buy all the Halloween shit on November 1st and put that up. And so I don't really do decorations for Thanksgiving. Right. So
we can do Easter.
Do Easter. So Easter, we put up the Christmas lights. It's still kind of close.
Yeah.
When he was born.
It's what we decide is the key thing.
Well, I think we
have to is gone.
We'll come up with our own fucking holiday. We'll just name it something, and you have to do this or that, right? You have to. That's when you put toilet paper in your tree, and you do odd things out front, right?
We could call that a shitty day.
You have to eat spaghetti and something. Link it. Just fucking create one.
Yeah, it's shitty because of the toilet paper.
I got you.
Okay, wasn't funny?
I see what you did there.
Okay.
Let's just keep going.
All right. Well, I wanted to address what I was going to say as far as something else that I also picked up or learned while you were out there doing that. It was hard for me too when I went to other people's homes, not to be the one picking up, cleaning up, organizing, being in control. So I was sitting outside on the back porch with you, sweating. My hands were like,
no shit.
And then then when I went to go pick up and clean up after, the gifts and stuff, and you kind of whispered in my ear, it's okay. Your kids aren't all here. You don't have to be that one anymore. Yeah. That was actually quite relieving, not to feel that pressure of performance of being that woman that takes care of everything, cleans up, does it on her, so make sure everybody's okay.
Those are
That
quotes,
was-
by the way, people listening on the podcast.
It was really hard for me,
Yeah. Well, it is.
but
I think.
fun.
Yeah. Well, those people exist too. We're kind of covering them, right? All the people that, whether you're that person, I'm that person,
Yeah.
is, the one that can't just chill. It's not even your house and you're cleaning it, not you, right? And
Yeah.
remember, I have invented this word here, people. You hear it now. I've put this in space before on the internet. Adam Lowry has invented this word. Now, when you hear it again, you're going to know. Now, I've been using this word for about 3-4 years now, and I've created this word. Everyone knows how annoying it is to try to talk to someone and tell the story, and you have to use the word you, but then you have to clarify the person you're talking to, well, is not you.
You don't want to say fuck you.
Right. And this one person, and then you go and do the thing. Well, not you, but you know what I mean, know. So I invented a word, people. The word is now GU. It is the general you. So if I'm speaking, you say, well, then GU does this, right?
Do you go, GU?
Not G unit, no.
Okay. I stopped. GU.
Yeah, it was good. I thought you were going to do the whole thing. Where
I
it's
stuck to what I know.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So, the GU person, you're there and you just start cleaning the house, right? It's not even your house, right? And you're feeling the need, or you start kind of enforcing how it should be, or you're picking this up or that. Then you make the person who actually lives in the house nervous, right? Then they're like, hey, what?
With great intentions.
Yeah.
But
thank you for cleaning, but now I have to clean because you're cleaning.
Yeah.
Right. And then, but the original could be good intentions too, right?
Yeah.
So they're the people that don't just fucking relax, right? And sometimes you can't. When you're there and you're hanging out, you're chasing the kid around, you're watching them not fall down the stairs or choke on the new Lego, right?
Well, even like I was trying to just allow Dylan to be an adult. And he wanted more gravy. And sometimes there's a time if it's right there, you go, here you go, honey. And you're just being the sweet mom.
Yeah.
But I was literally just trying to do a little bit of something and say, yeah, it's over there, just to give him some independence, right? Like, it's over there. Then, of course, the nice mother, she came over and gave it to him. And I was looking at her like, I wanted to do that. But, that's when it's a good thing because that's what they're supposed to do. So when do you go back to the supposed to?
Yeah. When do you?
Yeah.
I think it's hard, right? Because there's love, I think, in tradition, right? The remember when, the repeated thing that we do, the cycle of the tradition. I think there's importance there. Sure. But I don't know. I think creating your own sometimes, or the stress may come from trying to hold on to a tradition and thinking that some detrimental fucking thing in your family chain is going to erupt and be gone forever if you don't keep the family Christmas Eve dinner going, right? And we bring on those stresses, we adapt those through traditions, rather than, I think, maybe, as we evolve, as life evolves, as the holidays evolve, right? Then I think we have to, you began evolving with the holidays, man. We have to evolve who we are, what we think about, or even how we act during it. And not so we invite the stress, I think. I don't think Christmas has to be stressful. I think we invite it as if it's supposed to be, air quotes, stress.
Yeah. You always kind of run back into, you have to yourself decide what's the most important to you and take what comes with it. Because there are some people that are going to say, screw that idea. I don't have anyone that I want to hang out with for 2 freaking days for the holiday. I'll come in, show my freaking presents, give it to you guys so I don't have to deal with your drama and be able to say, oh, I showed up. I gave you your gift. And the idea of spending 1 freaking day with all those same people, I could choke myself out, right? So with those, what do those people do?
Yeah, sometimes though, you want to look at them and go, then why the fuck do you do it?
Yeah, like just do nothing then.
Yeah, I can't stand it. That if you're doing the Christmas thing,
then it's fake.
And if you're going to bitch about it the whole time you're doing it, well, then you're the fucking idiot because you don't even know why you're doing it. Yeah. And even if you do, then why do you keep doing it? Find a solution, find a different way around it. If you're just it's like being the monkey in line, following every monkey, hitting yourself on the head for doing that instead of just going, oh, I don't have to go that way.
I don't want to.
Yeah. It's again, there's so many avenues of the holidays to walk down, right? Again, there's parts of me that wants to get pulled to the conspirator thing and be like, right, if you only fucking, right? But I'm not that guy you want at Christmas party, right? If you start talking that, right? So we try to participate and connect. And like I said, if you're going to participate in it, then do that. But you don't have to follow suit. I think you don't have to invite the stress in. And it doesn't have to fucking be the 25th. You know what I mean? What's wrong with the 27th? You know what I mean? It doesn't, that we don't have to enforce these things. And I think, like you said, the have tos, the supposed tos are
Wouldn't it be
detrimental.
kind of cool with work if you could say, I choose Christmas to be April 24th and I'd like the weekend. So you get your paid weekend off, because so many people go, well, I do that because those are the only days I can have consecutive days off of work.
Yeah.
So if you can go to your employer and go, for this year, my Christmas holiday, these are the dates that I'd like them to be, so that you can, prepare whatever, not have to worry about. Wouldn't that be great if you could have that option in the workplace?
Yeah. Move your holiday.
Yeah.
Well, you can if that's your religion, right? Then you can. But then you got to
But
go through
you
this
have
whole.
move the holiday where I still get honored of the same double pay, the holiday pay.
Yeah.
So can I move my holiday to this day?
Where if I
and get
work, I
paid?
get double, I get
Yeah.
overtime and holiday pay, and I'll still work the April time. Well, no, we can't do that.
Or vice versa, where I'm off and I'm just getting holiday pay. Some
Yeah.
works do that. So I think that would be a really cool change.
That's the other supposed to. The person that's sitting at work, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and they don't get to participate, if you will, in the thing that a lot of people are doing. And then they have this story now to tell that you hear them. Oh no, I work every Christmas Eve. Oh, we don't do Christmas Eve. We do it, so
Yeah.
again, it creates a detrimental response to this social construct of what it's supposed to be. Or I think we're even doing that too. I think we're enforcing that too, of what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just thinking about how many times that situation comes up in everybody's life, like of the supposed tos.
Yeah.
Like almost probably 10 times a day.
Well, they'll fucking run you, man. They'll run you. I'm supposed to do this because it follows by a label. I'm supposed to do this because I'm the father. I'm supposed to do this because we are a family. We're supposed to do this because that's why that becomes the first answer. That's why I wrote in the book that you got to go. We can all answer that first one with the rationale bullshit, right? That Manchurian response of, well, why do you do this? Well, because it's Christmas time. I'm the father, and this is what we do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, why do you do that? Well, because my father did it. We passed down tradition. The kids love it. They have a great time. Because you buy them a bunch of shit.
Yeah. That's great opening those gifts.
Right. Could you keep right. And now, mind you, let's get it twisted. Not twisted. Most of them, you see the presents get open, tear it up, toys get open, boom, kids are gone, ghost.
Yeah.
They're playing with the stuff. And really, I'm starting to think you're just buying the kids off. You're just buying your time. You're buying them shit to send them off in a room for a day or two so you can sit back here and drink eggnog and vodka and talk shit for 2 fucking days. I think I'm catching on to this
will probably
shit.
keep them really busy for a couple of days.
Right. And I'm like, I think adults are just buying time. I think that's what they're doing.
I'll tell you what, the other night when we just sat in the living room and played that game with Dylan, that was so much fun. I
thought instantly of your impressions.
Oh, yeah, I get a little out of control, but I didn't expect to.
It's hilarious.
It was really fun, but it's just the small things, the communication. I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle it together. Also with the kids from separate families going on this thing. I've never done that before.
That's another book to open, another alley to walk down.
Yeah.
This was a Christmas of quite. I fucking loved it. It was so interesting from my observatory scientific point, right? An observer is what some blended family this was. Is at Christmas Eve even, and then even down south on the in Fort Lauderdale. If we look at, we had my daughter Morgan was with us, who's adopted.
Right.
I adopted her, so she's not my blood daughter, but she is my blood. I fucking hate saying that. That's my fucking.
We don't have to.
But I'm just for blended family purposes.
Sure.
I'm stating that. She's with us, and you're with me. We're not married. Your son is here from a different person.
Yeah.
That's at best for kindness. I'll keep it at that, right? That stays between us though. Right? So, and then my brother, right? His 2 daughters that are there.
Yeah.
Then my mom, her boyfriend, Jack, who's connected. And then Jack's first wife's son that he had.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then all in one, then my grandmother and Grace. So you're looking at all these.
She brought a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
And a friend. So you're looking at these blended families more and more and more these days. And it's not this, but yet we try to hold on to these traditional families. But yet, if you looked at our Christmas, here, it would be Dylan, Morgan, me, you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, it's different these
Yeah,
days.
when you really look at where we all came from, how did they end up together in this house this year?
Right.
This person lived here. Was so and so's daughter. This was so and so's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how people come together.
That's I think another beautiful part, right, of the double-edged
Hmm.
sword of the holidays, right?
Yeah,
Is that there's some beautiful things that do happen, where people do blend families and blend experience.
it was super cool for me to when I saw Dylan and said, "This is where we're going," just to go. We're gonna go see my family. That's how I felt. Like
It is.
because normally I didn't do that. So it would, not that I didn't feel like I had family, but I just usually when I would go see my family, like my brothers that I still talk to, Josh
Were you going to
and
put in
Max.
time?
No,
Okay.
no, with them I actually have
Oh,
a
all right.
great
Josh
time.
and Max.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'd go see them for holidays sometimes and stuff like that. But when it comes down to, you showing up, feeling like you're at a family get together, yeah, it's been a minute since I've actually experienced that on the real.
Yeah, it's funny that not until parents divorced, separated 20 fucking years later, do I kind of go, oh, this is what it was supposed to be like when I was a kid. Oh, this is cool. You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm sitting in the one in Christmas down at my father, my first Christmas back with him, and I don't know, and sitting there kind of going, "Really, this is great, isn't it? That's a great Christmas. It'd have fucking been nice to do." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not about the present of the thing, but the way the experience was, the way
Yeah.
the environment was, the vibrations, the intensity, that right. But to watch Scarlett Seneca enjoy that, I just like, man, it gets you right. So from that aspect, that feeling that I just spoke about, right, watching them do the thing, the moment. Again, which I've also talked about and said parents create, which in the kid is not sitting over there going, "Oh, father's over there. It's Christmas and I'm here." They're like, "Give me that toy. I'm fucking hungry."
Where's the milk and cookies, Grandma?
Yeah, right. And meanwhile, the parents over there that blink in their eyes, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
look at them." So that feeling that I even just spoke about, that how do you get beyond that to create the new tradition to try to eliminate that atmosphere of the materialistic pressure of Stressmas?
You know what? You talked to your brother about that same thing as far as experience, and he was pretty sold on that as well, so at least it gives topic for people to communicate what they think, ideas, things like that.
Mhm.
I felt like yesterday the greatest thing that I recognized, because you can't have these expectations that everybody's going to be exactly how you want them to be, right?
Yeah.
Or we're not going to be exactly how someone else wants us to be.
Sure.
What I did recognize was valid effort from every single person in each home. I felt
Mm.
like, sure, we'd all trip up on our own bullcrap. Me wanting to clean, you know what I mean? Me wanting to make sure Dylan's okay when he's 18. You kind of go, lay off at me, he's 18.
Yeah.
From those things to just the lessons that they learned.
Me
Everybody
trying to
seems
over
like,
organize. We leave at 10:30 if we get out at 9, right? I'm in the back room planning the drive from here, the timing, and then
yeah, but you do that and then you go chill.
yeah. Once I got
You're
a plan.
ready. Yeah.
Once I got a plan, I'm like, just chill. I got it all
Yeah.
figured out. I'll tell you when. We got 15 minutes to listen. I'm texting you.
Yeah. I'm like, where'd we go?
Right. Now, I wonder how many people were communicating via text at the giant family party, right? They're not
Oh, I'm
talking,
sure.
but they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what is Aunt Carol
The
wearing?
funnier thing is when people aren't smart to turn their beeper off and you have
Beeper?
someone whatever. They
Beeper?
have somebody text
You
it.
said beeper.
The
Oh.
noise, the sound. I didn't mean
Wow.
beeper like I have a drug deal. I just
Beeper.
meant the
Beeper.
noise.
That's a good throwback. I got a beeper for Christmas one year.
Yeah.
A beeper. And then I realized it was just so they could find me anytime. I'm like, damn, I wanted to get my own tracking device for Christmas.
Right.
My parents are like, sure.
There's so many ways to do that nowadays anyway.
But now, yeah, they're microchipping baby.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't heard that. I've heard the thing where they scan or whatever. But
Whatever it is. It sounds like microchipping babies. That's more fearful anyway.
yeah. That it could happen.
By the way, if you'd like to add to the He Said, She Said show, feel free to call in 305-741-4235. Again, 305-741-4235. Call in, have your comment ready though, and have your question if you have one or something to add to the chat. Throw a little fuel on the fire, if you will, to keep it going. If there's something you wanted to share about your experience or even just your takeaway about the holidays or Christmas or anything like that.
Kind of like I'd like to hear sometimes like maybe what their fear was of going to the new place of, like for wherever they're going. What was the one thing that they were going? don't want to experience that, or and what was the main drive of
Well,
why you
the
didn't
fear
want
or
to?
doing okay, so like a fear or didn't want to.
Yeah, I should say, what was the main drive or the main thing that you did not want to do
Mm.
that you had to do?
And did you do it anyway?
Right.
That's what I'd
Yeah.
ask is what's the one thing you didn't want to do? Well, because what we've been talking about is that's when it hit me, right? To circle all the way back to the beginning, when I was at the front pondering that, when what you said, I have to hit me. And then I went through the concrete beliefs and smashed them all down, went through and then went, wait, what? And put it down and relax, the have to, once I dropped that freedom, it was like, holy shit.
It's so cool.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, I didn't die, and there's no Christmas tree in my house. I love it. All right, nothing took me in the middle of the night. I'm okay. And so when you didn't participate and you get through that, so I love what you said was what you did is something you did this holiday or do every holiday maybe that you feel you have to or supposed to that you don't really want to do. Because if you do, what I'd like to do is if you call in and tell us what that is. I'd like to see if Patricia and I could come up with a solution to help you get out of having to repeat what you don't want to do every year and help you come up with something you want to do.
Or we could even just give you the cynic version or the optimistic version.
You're fucked, buddy.
Yeah, dude, you are so right. Why would you even go to those bitches' places?
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah,
man. Tell him he's an alcoholic, damn. And all right, if you're the person, since we were talking about people that come to the holidays, if you're the person that eats your face full, and then about 7 minutes after they've set dinner plates on the ground or on the plate, on the table, if you are snoring on the couch there and it is not your home, you're an asshole. And you're not old, that's allowed. Or if you're over a certain age, it's okay. You can pass out. Hell, sleep at the dinner table. Don't give a shit. But if you're the person that eats up all like crazy or even a little, and then you go sit on the couch and you snore off within 7 minutes. Event you fall asleep an hour or two later, you catching a little like turkey nap, you good. But if you're like, you ate, you roll over and you're snoring while I'm still eating my cranberry shit, you're an asshole.
Those people exist, isn't it? It's insane.
Get the fuck up.
Or when they take up more space than they should on the couch, when there's people standing around.
Yeah, people standing.
They're like, chill, like, oh, I just had all this meat, and yeah, that's when I start building something on your face.
Oh my gosh.
Like a sandwich. I built on Carmen's face one time a sandwich while she was sleeping.
Did you hear that she actually got Crohn's disease? She's been in the background and you're all like trying to have a real...
who's watching Star Wars?
Jesus, man. Yeah, if you're that, quit that, man. Get up. And, look, don't... And what other person do we have at the Christmas party, right? What other do we have?
Well, there's the ones that think the party starts when they get there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We might be those. No, that's just the mental thing, where you go, yeah, let's have a party. But I'm actually referencing more so where...
I can give people a social experiment that they can try to see if they really are the life of the party or if you just imagine so.
Oh, yeah, let's hear it.
What I'd like you to do, the next party or holiday place that you're at, maybe it's New Year's, right? And if you think you are the life of the party, what I'd like you to do is walk into the largest collection of the human beings that are sitting there talking or having a time. Walk into that and just blend into the conversation and be a part of that for a little bit. Give it at least 15 minutes. And if the majority of that group has managed to find another place to stand and they've slowly bailed out one plane at a time, one to the bathroom, one to the juice bowl, one to check on their kid, and one who, misplaced their keys. If next thing you know, that group of 6 has dwindled to, you and another, and that person's in a wheelchair, you are not the life of the party.
Yes, but they probably could have just rolled away if they chose.
Well, you can test. And then also you can... Then if you are in that group and 15 minutes later, 2 or 3 more have joined, then what you bravely need to do is exit the conversation, but stand closely nearby and strike up another conversation with someone else and see if you can get the group of 16 that you just gathered over there to then turn around and gather with you over there. If you've done that, you may be the life of the party.
And I would say I would not doubt that on you. That you are.
No, most people walk away.
It starts there and then they don't come back.
Yeah, they go, oh, that's interesting. He's gone too far.
Oh my God, that's funny.
They do. They go, oh,
don't say that. I didn't say that when you were talking.
No, you're the only one left after everyone leaves. That's how I know.
I'm like this going, And then what happened?
I'm like, you know what that's made out of, really, don't you? You know that plastic is destroying our oceans, and we perpetuate that with this Christmas gift of giving away more plastic. And then people leave and walk away, and you're going, yeah.
You're selling yourself short, and I'll tell you why.
It's fun.
You're one of the very few that after you go on your 20, 30-minute discussion, you actually look at the other person and say, what do you think?
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Okay, that person.
How do you feel?
We have that person now you brought up at the Christmas party, the one that has the story after the story after the story that either never finishes the one fucking story they started. It takes them 38 fucking minutes to tell a 2-minute story, or they tell it every year and they come back again and they have them none.
Like, when did that happen?
Well, they're so quick where they end the punchline and then they've already taken the breath in to let you know more is coming. And then they go, but last year, and then there's the next story, and then you don't have the audacity to A, shut the fuck up, and then B, ask somebody else.
Mhm.
What about your experience? What about yours? The ones that really don't converse, they simply are just reciting.
You know, that's a fun, that sounds so silly, but that's a fun game I play. I will actually, in an odd time, ask them a question that requires thought.
Just catch
to
them off
see
guard.
if they're actually in the conversation.
Yes. Back to my story.
No, I mean literally to where even if they're telling a story, they're the type of person that probably doesn't expect someone to say, oh, and how did that happen? You know, to where when you see that look on their face of surprise that someone's engaging with them and wanting a response, it's worth $1 million because they feel like someone is listening.
My favorite person at the, I gotta stop doing that thing when I do. I notice someone else in the podcast. It's weird. No, people are gonna hear it every time I do it.
I know what you're doing.
Oh, sorry.
Great.
People.
Now I'm going to.
So is the memas, the grandmas, maybe it's the grandfathers, but in my world, it's the memas that are, they have this perma smile. And if you walk up, it's come here. It's the huggy person, not the person, the grandmas. Okay. If you're the drunken mirror person hugging everybody, don't fucking touch me. Actually, I'll hug you. But it's the lovey grandma, right? Sometimes I don't know. I watch old people. I listen to them and I watch them because they're at the end of life, right? And maybe what they're focusing on is something that really is important, right? Maybe that's a tell.
Yeah.
You know, and I would see Mima just eyes lit up. And I noticed that Scarlett, my brother's youngest daughter, how old is she now?
I think she's 11.
No, not Seneca.
Oh, Scarlett. Yeah.
I don't know the age.
She's 3.
3?
I thought so.
Now she'd be talking. 2. Yeah, she's younger. So either way, she's not quite. She talks, but not quite. She talks well when she does the word or two, right? But I found it funny that with her little wingsuit on all Christmas Eve, she stood next to Mema all night.
Yeah.
And was talking to Mema, was looking at Mema like trying to speak straight sentences.
There's some serious communication going on.
And Mema's just like, yeah. And they talk, right? And I find it weird that the beginning of life and the end of life vibe like that, right? Like there's something important.
I think it's they don't have any feelings of threat. Neither one of them.
Or it's they're in the fucking moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I write about the kid, right? That kid. Once Scarlett put on those wings, give a fuck about any other present. She had a magic wand and wings and a purple tutu.
Her posture got some crazy success right there. She just sat up straight, puts her little feet together, and she's like talking and very, she's accentuating each word.
And slapping everyone with a wand.
What was it? Poofed?
Yeah.
You're poofed.
Wishy poo. Wishy poof or some shit like that.
I don't know. It was adorable. And it was probably, maybe one of their gifts that they were just going to throw in there, and then you put so much thought into something. And then once she puts that little tutu on, you're like, well, there goes all the other gifts.
Yeah, she's off. And I think that would reference my second favorite person at the party would be the child that's that young, that really just the wings, the box, the wrapping paper, and that's cool. And they're just in that now right there, because when I watch that, I feel like I'm watching the now, like I'm going, damn, I want to be like that,
What about another thing? Let's have people take advantage of to pay attention to. Are you that man or woman that people are avoiding at the party because you're so stressed out? Look at how many people do a quick visit with you that is so, like texty, book texty, not any depth to it.
Hi, how are you doing? The weather's
yeah.
been great. Have you seen this movie? Yes, that
And then
series is great.
And then they leave you and you are looking stressed out. Maybe you should not be so stressed out.
Yeah. It's hard, man. Like we said, like it's easy to, right? We can seriously not be stressed out. Add 5 kids to this mix, the rotation, right? Which is why I thought your solution was ingenious, right? It's a one-time move and then home, right? And everything.
Yeah.
It's move everybody once and home. And I know people enjoy it, and I know there's those out there that don't stress out, right? And perhaps maybe it's the rich, or maybe it's the poor, maybe it's the ones that have accepted I can't buy anything, but at least we can eat this turkey today, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's the rich that they can afford everything, they buy it, but then again, that looks stressful to me because now you have to check off every little thing you're supposed to do on the list because you can buy everything, and now you're supposed to buy everything for everyone. So that too gets stressful too, right? They want the rich uncle to buy them the thing, right? So you get stressed out on the same end, and a different end.
Think of the amount of times people say, what do you buy someone that has everything?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You buy them nothing.
Fucking nothing.
You talk to them.
Yeah. I'm here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I not gift enough? Right?
Quinton is in.
Actually,
Yeah.
you are not given. Frankly, you have to bring anything to get in. You need a present for cover.
So do you feel relieved that part is over, or did you feel like it was more so a success in a relief that way?
Good question, right? For those in the holiday, right?
Yeah,
Are you
just
sitting here
generally.
going, it's over. We made
Yeah.
it through it, right?
Mhm.
And if it's so fucking nice, why are we saying that at the fucking end of it, right? I've never had sex with you and at the end I went, thank God that's over. I've never said that, right?
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. So if this is Christmas and I'm at the end of it going, fuck, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
You should change something.
Right.
Yeah.
Why the fuck am I gonna do that again next year?
Break up.
That's tradition.
It's like being in a shitty relationship.
Yeah, it's tradition to stress ourselves out every day and make sure everything is perfect for a day, even though we know perfection is not real. And we're going to enforce that on you. And doesn't the home look beautiful and pretty? We spent $10,000.
So I think it's a funny time to share how you felt in the gas station.
That was funny.
Or were you going to save that for another time?
I'd say it. No, it's perfect because it was the holidays, man.
Yeah.
It was. This is going to be.
As far as performance is why I brought it up.
Yeah, well, it's going to touch on the gender issue too.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to look. You can tell me gender till I'm blue in the fucking face. All right, the equal and all this other shit. But motherfucker, I was at the Speedway Christmas motherfucking day, and I'm going to tell you what I saw. What I saw Christmas Day, well, looked like it was a little gender biased to me. And if everyone is equal, I love Bill Burr's line is, if it's women and children first, right? They pay, they get to jump. What the fuck? Everything's equal, right? Pay and everything's equal until the ship's going down.
Yeah.
The ship's going down, and it's women and children first. I think it's fucking hilarious. So the idea sounds good. Sounds good. I'm with you.
Be consistent with your equalism.
Right. And so I go into the Speedway on Christmas Day to get some orange juice. Mind you, they were completely out of orange juice. And well, there was no milk to be seen, but I don't drink it anyway. I just noticed nothing was there. It looked like the hurricane came.
Right.
And,
We were looking for ice.
Well, just the breakfast freezer in the gas station was empty. Right.
All the donuts are gone.
Yeah. The donuts, all the fake bacon, all the weird stuff. It's all gone. Right. The stuff you never buy ever is now all gone.
Yeah.
Been there since last year anyway. So I'm there getting orange juice, and I stand in it looks like a line at Space Mountain at Disney, fucking just it's long as hell. The gas station's got 7 cars per pump, right? Everybody's hanging the hell out. And I noticed as I was outside on my way in and then standing in line in my observatory mode, every single person at the gas station on Christmas morning was male. There was not a single female to be seen. Not a child, not a worker.
That's because they wised up.
Every person waited. And then I looked because then I had to know because I'm like, I now have observed this. I have to now creepily walk by every car in line at the gas station and go,
is there a lady in there?
Right.
What's going on?
Right. Then I got arrested. No. And it was, and I announced it. I couldn't help it. I announced it. I was standing in line. I looked down the line. I looked forward at the line, long as shit. I was like, does anybody notice this is all guys here? Right?
Everybody looks around like, what the fuck?
Some dude up front goes, I poured the milk out on purpose.
That's so crazy. He's like, I need to get out of this house. Babe, we're all out of milk.
He poured it out on purpose. The other guy's like, honey-do list, man. And right, so guys are yelling from a line, right? As if like,
Yeah.
well, caught me. I'm here doing this. Got sent out, right?
Do you think that the women at home are texting their girlfriends going, finally the fucking fucker is gone? If he didn't get his ass out of the kitchen eating everything, I swear I would have been on the news.
Right.
So are those texts going out the second and she's like, that dumb bitch, I bought milk yesterday when I wanted to get out of the house and we're out of milk today.
Right.
You know?
And then
so-
she's back there going, oh, asshole left.
Yes.
Right. We can talk for a minute, right?
Finally.
Oh, this
Call me. We've got 10 minutes. I can see when he runs the credit card.
Well, here's my question. Why then do you keep repeating it every fucking year?
How about every day?
Just link that shit right to relationship. Let's see what you did there.
Yeah,
Well
every
done.
day. Think about it just offhand, how many relationships you hear about where they talk like they are watching Al Bundy.
Yeah. It's sad. It makes me sad when I you see the relationship, right? It's like, oh, every year he does the same thing. I'm like, that's your friend. You're together, right?
Yeah. You guys are
Yeah.
in a relationship, right?
Yeah. And you do see that couple at the holiday parties, right? Look like they've been together for 6,000 years. They fucking hate each other. One's sitting down on one end, one's in the other. They've shown no affection.
You know what I dislike is when couples like that, and I can say male or female if I just said it right.
We are enforcing our own beliefs, though, because we assume that the happy couple should be together and share the affection, when truthfully, somebody may be married 6,000 years because they do that.
Well, I was actually referencing more so like their attitude. So if you and your spouse don't get along, then it's not okay to go back to your friends and say, oh God, I hate this. Come and join me in my misery. Don't go separate those couples, and have them, think that they're supposed to babysit you in the relationship just because you're having problems. You think it's time to go, you know what? I haven't had some guy talk in so long. Let's go out back and smoke some cigars. I'm like, bitch, I did not put this dress on to stand around a bunch of women.
I think that's another great point you've brought up, is you see that. You see the dinner has happened, right? The Lions are playing someone, and then Dallas is playing someone after that. And the 1 and the 4 o'clock, and then the division begins, right? The presents bring everyone back together and then separate them again. The kids go to play the presents. The guys typically now go watch the football, and the women are either cleaning the kitchen or talking shit out back about Fred on the inside and his fucking hemorrhoid this year. It's shitty. And I'm not saying, again, it's not everybody, right?
Yeah.
I know women are Steelers fans and all this too. I get it, right? But generally speaking, the GU person, and generally speaking, is you see the division of conversation. You see the males congregate to one area for conversation about golf and some generic bullshit that probably doesn't matter. Now, some are probably the deepest conversations on the planet. But in the females, you see them go on this side. And that fucks with me. Sometimes I'm like, wait, we can, you know what I mean? We can bring that shit together.
Or how about,
because I thought
I talk to you every day.
Because I thought this was all about.
Yeah.
Right. It's about bringing us all together. But yet it seems to, when you're in the mix of it, it seems, other than the dinner, we all are forced to usually sit down, and the presents to do circles and watch everybody open them, etc. Other than those two moments, it's watching football, which again, you're not interacting. You're talking about the game really in front of you. It's a distraction. Or you're cleaning the kitchen or packing the food, or the kids are playing the games. They split up again anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all a sham, really. So everybody can just hang out with who the fuck they want to when all that bullshit's over.
And you should, but if you don't end up hanging out with the one that you want to, that is the person that makes you happy or whatever, if that's not that person that makes you want to hang out, I'm not talking every time.
Yeah.
But if that's their general behavior, is to act like Jersey when I open the front door and bail, like when you get to that party.
You may have to reference Jersey as your dog.
Yeah.
Who runs out the front door if it's opened.
Oh, doesn't everybody have a dog named Jersey that runs?
No.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying was, I forgot what I was saying. I squirreled off on that one.
That's what we do here. So whether we squirrel off or not, to wrap the show up, really, to bring us all the way full circle back to our original point where we opened. We talked about all the people, the experiences, questioning it, whether questioning what it is or how we do it, or all the different influences that drive us, right? So despite all that, the original posed question, how do we hold on to it? If that Christmas spirit, if you will, whatever that really means, if the idea of togetherness and family, if that's what it is, And it does. And if it does for them listening and us personally or whoever, and not saying that it doesn't for everyone,
Yeah.
how do we go about continuing that next week after the new year, after when the holidays aren't here to hold us together? How do we hold that each day?
I think that just added 359 more days we have to have a have to.
Ah, you're a killer. I love it.
So
I love it.
instead, I'd rather be like Walt Disney and start to sing "Let It Go."
Ah, I love it. That's brilliant.
That's what I would do is let it go. Then there's no longer an expectation, and you're the creator of whatever comes the next year, and you can surprise people with whatever you have if you just do it with the idea of, "This is something that makes me happy. Do you like this? This is when you can come over. This is my holiday." People might be actually interested in seeing and hearing more about you when you express yourself in those ways of saying, I'm not going to go ahead and keep going on with what everybody else wants to do. And this can kind of help you, even if it's coming to things that you're trying to figure out in your own life as far as what's happening. What if you're a person that is so bitter towards holidays um, that you don't want to even be a part of it? So maybe that's a good time instead of knocking down someone else's traditions. Start your own. It's like those people that bitch and complain about the problem. Think of a solution, an idea to where it's a diversion to what you might like and see if that works out. And then if it doesn't, quit having expectations for them.